Some of the most popular options that veterans are using today are operating in legal gray areas. So the real question isn't, should I get help with my claim? It's who should you trust with your claim right now? In this video, I'm going to break down all four paths: the VSO route, VA Accredited Attorneys, do-it-yourself, and private companies. But more importantly, I'm going to show you where each one actually works best, where they can hurt you, and a combined strategy most veterans never think about that can dramatically improve your outcome. No fluff, no bias, just clarity. But before we get started, you need to understand the current environment that we're in right now. The VA has been actively warning certain assistance companies that they may be violating federal law by charging fees to veterans without being accredited. And according to the Military Times, the VA has sent cease and desist letters to multiple companies, stated some business models may be illegal under the federal law, and yet many of these companies are still operating. At the same time, DBQs, disability benefit questionnaires, are under increased scrutiny. The VA is expanding use of automation and AI-assisted claim review systems, and there's heightened concern about coached exams or templated medical opinions. So what does this mean for you? It means the type of help you choose to help you with your claim matters more now than it ever has, because the VA isn't just evaluating your claim, they're evaluating how it was built and who assisted you in building that claim. And that's where veterans are getting in trouble. The first path we're going to look at is using a VSO. And it's important to note that VSOs are free. They're accredited representatives that are trained to help veterans file and manage claims. And they include, for example, the DAV, the VFW, the American Legion, and state and county also has veteran service officers to help you with your claim as well. The benefits to using a VSO is that they're free, they never charge any fees, they're accredited by the VA, they have direct access to the VA system, the Veterans Benefit Management System, VBMS, and they can file your claim, track your claim, and communicate on your behalf. Plus, they can also give you a little bit of a peek behind the curtain throughout the claim process. The cons to using a VSO: they have high caseloads and they have limited time per veteran. So be strategic and prepared for any additional request once you get your claim submitted. They vary widely in experience and quality. They are less strategic in depth when it comes to complex cases. So look at them almost like an assistant with a vast amount of knowledge, and you are the orchestra leader giving direction. And VSOs are typically reactive versus proactive. VSOs are best used when you have a straightforward claim, you already have strong medical evidence, and you need help navigating paperwork and submission. Where veterans sometimes go wrong is placing too much faith in the VSO to build the entire strategy for them, which is what most VSOs are not structured to do. Using a VSO as your execution arm to your claim is a great strategy because it gives you the ability to have someone on your side who understands the paperwork and the process, while you then can focus on your strategy. The second path we're going to look at is using a VA accredited attorney, which are legally authorized to represent you in appeals, charge fees, typically contingent based, access your claim file, and argue legal errors if they exist. The pros of using an accredited attorney is they are extremely strong in appeals and denial cases. They understand the VA law, the 38 CFR, and they understand case law. They get paid based upon winning the claim, which is typically going to be 20 to 33% of your back pay, and they can identify legal mistakes that the VA made throughout the process. And it's important to note, if your VA claim is denied, the 38 CFR allows you to continue seeking approval by appeal via supplemental claim, a higher level review, or notice of disagreement. And you have within 1 year of the decision notice to file one of these. Filing within this window preserves your original effective date, meaning any benefits granted will be retroactive to when you first filed. If you miss the 1 year appeal window and file a new claim, you may lose your original effective date, and benefits will only start from the new claim date. In addition, a VA claims attorney will be skilled in identifying and raising legal errors and with submitting new relevant evidence as needed during the appeal process. In summary, timely appeals protect your effective date and maximize your benefits. VA accredited attorneys are especially helpful for appeals and identifying legal errors. So, cons for using an attorney. Typically, they do not take initial claims. Fees come out of the back pay. Not all attorneys understand medical evidence deeply, so do your research before committing. And VA accredited attorneys focus on correcting errors and handling appeals, but they usually don't build or optimize claims from the start. For the best results, make sure your initial claim is strong, as attorneys are most effective after a denial or when legal mistakes occur. What strategy would you use an attorney? Attorneys are most effective when you've been denied, you're dealing with a complex appeal, or there are clear legal errors or rating issues that arose throughout the claims process. And where veterans sometimes go wrong is they wait too long or they expect an attorney to fix a claim that was poorly built from the start. And remember, attorneys are not claim builders, they are error correctors. So now let's discuss the third path, and that is doing the claim all by yourself. And what does it mean to do it yourself? For example, you must learn the VA disability system. You must gather your own evidence and understand how it supports your claimed condition. And you must write your own personal statements and submit your own claim. The pros to this is that you're fully in control. There is no cost. You gain a deep understanding of your claim throughout the claim process, and you can be extremely effective if executed correctly. The cons to this is as a steep learning curve. It's easy to miss certain elements. It's time intensive, and you run the high risk of having an underdeveloped claim. So when would doing it yourself work best? If you take time to understand the 38 CFR rating criteria, you build medical evidence intentionally, and you don't rely on guesswork. Where veterans sometimes go wrong is they submit a claim based on symptoms instead of providing evidence that matches the 38 CFR rating criteria for their claim diagnosed condition. And it's important to note that the VA doesn't rate symptoms, they rate documented, rateable diagnosed conditions tied to criteria that supports the appropriate symptoms associated with your level of disability for your claim conditions per the 38 CFR Part 4. So now let's discuss using a private company, which is the most controversial route in today's environment. These are companies that help veterans develop claims, often assist in obtaining medical evidence, typically charge flat fees or packaged fees that are oftentimes come out of your back pay, and it's often that they are non-accredited with the VA. Now here's the part that most veterans don't fully understand. Under the federal law, only VA accredited individuals are allowed to charge for helping a veteran with their claim. And that comes from the 38 CFR Section 5904 and VA accreditation rules. But here's where it gets complicated, because the Veterans Benefits and Transition Act of 2018 didn't create strong enforcement penalties for companies operating outside of that system. So what you have right now is a gray area where the VA has sent cease and desist letters to some companies, and the VA has said they may be violating the law. And here's key for you to understand as a veteran. You're not fined or punished for using one of these companies, but you are the responsible party for your claim. So the real risk to you is whether your evidence being submitted is considered credible, defensible, and holds up under a VA review, in addition to possibly having additional scrutiny applied to your case if you're using an unaccredited third-party company. So to be fair, there are reasons veterans go this route that do have value. For example, faster perceived results, more hands-on guidance, help in obtaining medical evidence, and structured step-by-step support throughout the entire claims process. But it's important as well to also pay attention to the risk, which, for example, could include paying large upfront fees, medical evidence that appears templated or coached, increased scrutiny from the VA, DBQs that may be discounted or questioned altogether, and a lack of legal standing if something goes wrong. And in the current environment, the VA is paying closer attention how evidence is produced, especially with the rise of the BI AI assisted review system that's been in the news recently. So if you choose to go this route, verify who is actually accredited, if anyone, understand exactly what you're paying for up front, ensure medical providers are independent, credible, and avoid anything that feels scripted or coached. And most importantly, you are still responsible for your claim even when you use one of these third-party unaccredited companies. So remember, even though speed may be attractive, it's credibility that wins VA disability compensation claims. Now let's look at an example of a combined strategy of how you can use one or more of these paths to help benefit your particular claim. And one of the most effective approaches could look something like this. For example, you would focus on strategy and understanding. You'd have to learn the rating criteria of the 38 CFR Part 4 Schedule of Ratings and understand your diagnosed conditions, the symptoms, and where they fall within that schedule. Your VSO then could focus on the execution part of your claim. They could file and manage your claim and ensure proper submission, and they would also have access to VMBS, which would give you the opportunity to peek behind the curtains occasionally throughout the claim process. You would then handle your own medical evidence, making sure that it's credible, built intentionally, and matches the appropriate rating criteria of the 38 CFR Part 4 Schedule of Ratings. And then finally, a VA accredited attorney who could step in if your claim is denied and who could fix legal errors that may exist in the denial. But make sure that you avoid blindly outsourcing your claim, chasing speed over substance, using evidence you don't understand, and relying on one source for everything. The VA system is not all about who helps you. It's about how well your claim is built, how credible your evidence is, and whether it aligns with the current law. The right help can accelerate your claim, but the wrong help can quietly damage it. So which route are you considering taking? If you would, please take a second, drop some comments down below of the route you're wanting to go, the possible strategy you're thinking about. That way other veterans can engage with you and discuss what they're thinking as well. Hey, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a second, subscribe to my channel, put a like on the video so to send it out to more veterans. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I'm Mike, and I will see you on the next episode.